President Trump telling aides to prepare for an extended blockade of Iran as the White House seeks to maintain pressure on stalled negotiations. It's according to the Wall Street Journal this morning. Overnight, Central Command forces briefly detained a vessel in the Arabian Sea attempting to transit the Strait of Hormuz, violating the blockade. Meanwhile, major Gulf nations are also rejecting Iranian control of the strait, meeting in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday to discuss retaliation against Iran. I want to bring in former U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine, AFPI Center for American Security co-chair, and a Fox News contributor, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. Lieutenant General, good morning. I'm so glad that you're here. There's so much to go through with what's happening in the Strait, but there's also this new report this morning that's finding that Iranian-linked hackers are targeting U.S. troops that are operating in the region, in addition to the blockade. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, Cheryl, thanks for having me. Good to be with you today. Look, first of all, I want to start something by saying, look, you're going to start hearing in the press, and probably from you all as well, that we're approaching the 60-day mark on the War Resolutions Act from 1973. I tell them to go to Section 5. Because that really says you have 60 days plus 30 days, number one. Number two, the president's done something brilliantly with this blockade, but I think you really have to carry it a step further. You've got Arachi out there, he's their foreign minister. You got Vahidi, who's in charge of the Revolutionary Guards. They seem to be the ones actually in charge. We really haven't heard from the supreme leader of Iran at this time. And I keep putting the pressure on them. I think what we need to do is we need to put the nation at risk. We need to put those people at risk. Basically saying, you're one step from being dead, and just make sure that they understand that as well. And then when you look at the troops being involved or targeting our troops, that's a foolish step on their part. I would like the president to extend it a little more time by going to get Kharg Island or the islands of the Gulf and just open it up. Then we have a negotiations tool. And then you say to them, look, it's just not the Strait of Hormuz being opened. Your national survival is at stake. And put the pressure and the onus on the Revolutionary Guards and the leadership to make that break. Remember, the Revolutionary Guards is not their army. Now, people say, well, you're putting American troops at risk. Yes, I know that. Do you know we lose more troops in training actions than we do regular combat operations? We lose between 30 and 80 a year. So I think you can do it. We obviously could do it. There's no doubt our military can do it. But I want to put this regime, this theocratic regime, at risk of even survival. Once you understand your survival's at risk, when they know their military is basically gone, their navy's at the bottom of the Persian Gulf, and we can do that as well. But so I'd say you ratchet up a little bit, you put them at risk, you make sure they're at risk as a nation, and then they say, okay, well, this is done. It's just sort of like, it reminds me a lot of our Civil War, when in 1864 President Lincoln turned to Grant for the first time and said, you run the war. One of the first things he did, he took Sherman, his best friend, and said, you go through the South. And that was Sherman's advance to the sea. He basically meant economic survival, a confederacy. You broke their back that way economically. The president has done brilliantly what he's done with the blockade. We have executed brilliantly with our chairman of the Joint Chiefs and also our Secretary of War. Let's just finish the job. Just cut them off, totally eliminate the government.
Understood. A couple of things that you mentioned I want to follow up on you. First off, the War Powers Act. So if we're talking 90 days and not 60 days, then the question is what can be accomplished in that additional 30 days? In particular, it's the who. Who are we negotiating with in the Iranian regime right now? Who's left? Because we've eliminated, it seems to me, about 3 layers of leadership in that nation. Who's left? Who are we talking to?
Cheryl, the guy we're really talking to, that you see in the news all the time, the guy who went to Moscow and talked to Putin, was their foreign minister, Arachi. He's kind of the guy that's actually in charge. But the other signal you want to send to is this guy named Vahidi. He leads the Revolutionary Guards, and there's no number 2, there's just number 1. But remember, the Revolutionary Guards is not their military. They're separate organizations. Their supreme leader is basically in hiding, and you've kind of broken their back politically because we fractured the government out there. And I would just carry it a step further, and that's what I said. These guys are one step away from last day walking on Earth. The fact is, you make sure they understand that we're going to technically take them apart, economically take them apart, militarily take them apart, which we have done, and we're going to just make sure that the Strait of Hormuz is open to traffic. We'll do that by controlling their economic lifeline. This is just taken to an extension of a period where we say we're in charge of the whole Gulf region. It's sort of like we're going to be the next petro power of the world. So when you said, going back to what you said about who we're talking to in governance, there really isn't anybody that has really come out and said this is what's doing, except for Vahidi and Arachi. And those are the two names you see in the press a lot, foreign minister and leader of the Revolutionary Guards. Trying to get somebody else in there is good. You know, here's an additional thought. You take someplace like Kharg Island, which is doable. It's 20 miles offshore. You know, with the 82nd Airborne or the Rangers, take the other islands with our great Marines, and basically you put them in a position where they've got to negotiate because their economic survival is at stake at that time. And also, we could put in provisional government right there at Kharg Island. Now you've got two competing governments. Now it gets really interesting.
Interesting. No, that's a very interesting take. So much of what you said I want to ask you about, but I do need to ask you about Ukraine, because they're striking, and they struck a Russian oil refinery on the coast. This is a major fire. They're trying to disrupt, obviously, Russia's oil industry and the profiting that Russia is getting from what we're seeing with the Gulf. Just to be clear, with the Strait of Hormuz. Third strike on a refinery port along the Black Sea in the last 2 weeks. Russian President Putin denounced this, of course. I want to get your thoughts because, you know, there's a piece from Mitch McConnell this morning in the Washington Post. Why is the Pentagon holding up Ukraine funds? And so there's two tracks here. If we want, you know, whether or not we are supporting Ukraine, let me get your thoughts there. If we're doing enough for them, are we giving them the funding they need? Number two, doesn't that weaken Putin, who we need to make sure is weaker because of his relationship with the Iranians?
Yeah, the Ukrainians have fought brilliantly. They really have. You got to give them full credit for what they've done when you look at their mere size with the Russians. And it's been a war. It's been a war now. When you look at 2014, when they went to Crimea, it's been steady on that. You know, but this is another one. I'd be very clear, and I think President Zelensky needs to understand. You know, you go to the well only so often. This is a European issue. The Europeans need to solve this. The Europeans need to get involved with this. And I think Putin's got a problem as well. When you look at his loss rate, which is right now he's lost about 1.2 to 1.4 million dead and wounded in this war. You know, remember, they left Afghanistan after losing only 18,000. So he's got a problem economically. They can keep attacking it. Militarily, he does it well. You know, the Ukrainians have only lost about 1% of the land since 2014. So they fought very, very well. And I would tell the Russians, you're not winning this war. You're losing this war. You know, my idea of winning is you'd be across the Dnieper River. You'd be in Kharkiv. You'd be in Kyiv. You haven't done that. Why don't you just go back to negotiations and say, this is all we're going to get? You're not going to get the rest of the Donbass unless you're going to fight for it. And that, they've got 3 fortified cities in there. I've been on the land. It's fortified territory. Once you get into, and when they'll look at you and they say, we can't give up the Donbass because if we give up defensible terrain, that opens up the heartland to us, Kharkiv and Kyiv and everywhere else. Wow. And I think the Russians have got a problem that Putin just doesn't admit it, but he's got a problem right now with Zelensky in the sense of how the Ukrainians are fighting. They're fighting very well.
Well, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, so much information covered. Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate your time this morning with us.